Hello guys, welcome back to another video of biology. Today we'll be looking at the nervous system again, but this is part 2. So our first topic today is the required practical 7. This is actually part of part 1, but I'm doing it in part 2 to make it like a follow-on. So this practical is used to see the reaction times of someone after drinking caffeine. So here are some steps on the side. Plan and carry out an investigation into the effect of a factor on human reaction time. So that's the practical. And when I did this practical, we had to drink Coke and carry out the practical. So here are the steps. The person being tested rests their arm on a table with their hand over the edge. They hold their thumb and their index finger a short distance fixed apart. 30-centimeter ruler is used at the top of the ruler. It's in line with the top of a person's finger. Also, this is done without warning. And to make this a fair experiment, this is repeated 2 more times to get an average. So our second topic will be about the brain. So on the left, you can see an image of a brain. So it's the parts of the brain. So the cerebral cortex, which is the outer part of the brain, is called a cerebrum, and it controls consciousness, intelligence, memory, and language. Also, the brain is made up of billions of neurons and synapses. So the next part we'll be looking at is the cerebellum, which is also part of the brain but is smaller than the cerebral cortex. This coordinates movement of muscle and receives impulses from the spinal cord. And then another part is the medulla oblongata, which controls unconscious activities, heart rate, and the rate at which you breathe. So another part which I didn't mention is the thermoregulatory center, which is the hypothalamus, which will be covered in more detail when we look at hormones, and is used to monitor blood temperature. Our next section will be the eye. So here on the left we have the parts of the eye. So we have number 1 is the cornea, which reflects light and bends it as it enters the eye. Number 2, the pupil. Number 3, the iris, which controls how much light enters the pupil. The pupil is where light enters through. And number 4 is the lens, which further refracts light too much to focus it on the retina. And then following on the retina, number 5, it contains the light receptors, rods and cones. And number 6 is ciliary muscle, which alters the shape of the lens so the eye can focus. So that's basically accommodation, which we'll be looking at in the next slide. And then I added the sclera, which is a part of your eye as well, and the optic nerve, which carries impulses from between the eye and the brain. In the bottom, we can see how the light adjusts to light, how the eye adjusts to light changes. So when it's dim, the radial muscles of the iris contract, the circular muscles of the iris relax, and the pupil is dilated so more light enters. When it's bright, the radial muscles of the iris relax, so the eye is shut, and the circle muscles of the iris contract, whereas also the contracted pupil means less light enters. So this is now we'll be learning about accommodation. The accommodation reflex is a reflex action of the eye in response to focusing on a near object then looking at a distant object and vice versa. So when we have to adjust from looking at a far point to a near point, this is what accommodation is. So here are some tables which are talking about how the light rays and the lens adjust. So in a distant object, the light rays are nearly parallel. In the near objects, they diverge. So the lens is dim lens for a distant object, where for a near object it turns to a thick lens and refracts rays. And then if the object is near, the ciliary muscles contract, loosen, the suspensory ligaments loosen, the lens shape thickens, the light rays are refracted more. If it's far, the ciliary muscles relax, the suspensory ligaments tighten, the lens shape thin, and the light rays are refracted less. And then now we'll be finally looking at short-sighted myopia, and is one of the two reasons why people wear glasses. So short-sightedness is where people can see objects at a short distance but not longer and not far away, because the light bends because the cornea's shaped too curved, so the image falls in front of the retina, which doesn't let us see. So when the light refracts the image to be shown on the retina, it doesn't go onto the retina. It lands short, and the reasons for this is if your eye is too long, your eyeball is too long, and also if your refraction is too strong. This can be treated with glasses, contact lenses, or laser eye surgery. And on the left, we can see that if we have glasses or contact lenses, they have concave lens in it to make the light focus correctly on the retina. So our last slide will be on hyperopia, which is farsightedness correction, and to correct this, we need a convex lens. Hyperopia is where people can't see, it's the opposite of myopia, so people can't see objects a long distance away but can see objects a short distance away. It may happen because your eyeball is too short/weak. The cornea is not curved enough, so it's weak. So the convex lens bends it to the retina, whereas if without the convex lens, it would go not short but away from the retina. So this can be treated with glasses, contact lenses, or laser eye surgery as well. And plus, the convex lenses converge the light rays, whereas in myopia they diverge the light rays. Thank you for watching. Subscribe and be on the lookout for more videos for my channel.